Wayo. Sup, amigos. We back. Part 2, baby. I'm just reading some more studies. Getting a general idea of what the results are, I guess, and the prescriptions from the scientists based on the studies. And then we'll be going over it shortly with the 13Army. They were just ordering pizza. So, just waiting for them.
I was fucking muted. Hello, everyone.
Oh, all G.
Yeah, I was fucking ordering pizza, being a big chungy mungy.
Hell yeah. Gotta eat, right? As Chubbs once said. Why do you eat so many nanners?
Chubs.
Gotta eat.
You've done, Chubs. You know what you must do. Jump.
Jump, Chubbs.
All right. So what are we going over precisely?
So I've just been kind of like skimming through. It does seem like most of this is going to be pretty easy. A lot of this is stuff that we've already talked about. But
Right.
I've gotten so far. I really want to understand everything that's being thrown at us, you know? Because I was thinking about it today. This is something I learned from, like, not even just Magic the Gathering, but something that was really crucial for success with Magic the Gathering back when we used to play paper Magic and stuff and went to tournaments. Something that I always recognize as a strength, and I think we can apply here, is that the best way... So in Magic the Gathering, you have your opponent. It's a game. You're trying to win the game, right? There's a meta, like most games. I've always recognized that the best way to become really good at beating your opponents is... understanding their strategy, right? Understanding how their deck works, because if you understand how their deck works, you're that much better. And I think the same principles apply here. Understanding every single argument, every single piece of evidence that they're presenting us with on the other side here, fully makes us that much better at contesting it, essentially. Especially because most of it is worth contesting. If you actually read their studies, it usually disagrees with their prescription, which is pretty funny, I think. That's actually one of my favorite ways to own these dumb fucks, so... yeah, and I'm sure I've talked to you about this a couple times before, but essentially, I've just been really like reading all of the studies and like the entirety of the study and trying to like get a real good grasp on what they're trying to say, essentially, right? And it's usually pretty easy because you can just usually read the results and stuff, but just so that I didn't miss anything. Some of these studies were pretty short, so I've gone through a lot of the PCR testing section, essentially, because we were almost done yesterday with the first comment there, so I've just tried to get ahead a little bit. So we can just start with where we left off, and I'll try and skim through it as quickly as possible, but covering as much of the stuff that's important as possible. And I'm also going to be including most of the studies that he has here into the research document under the heading studies to watch out for, because I already started that one with the Corman Drawson report.
Is this on your Ultimate Research doc?
Yeah, that's in the Ultimate Research doc there was a studies to watch out for section. I'm going to be pretty much including like most of Bob Leon's claims and stuff under that section, I think, because most of the stuff is him giving us studies and stuff. So otherwise, a lot of this is going to be memorization for our purposes and for our rhetorical effectiveness otherwise. But if he gave us studies, then I will address those studies. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff is going to just be trying to remember it kind of thing. So. But it's pretty straightforward. So, continuing on here, I guess I gotta throw us into the fucking, into the stream again, so that you can see what I'm doing. Let's see, screen, and that's the one. Okay, so I should be live there for you to see now.
Yep.
Cool. So continuing on, and for anyone who's like watching right now that might not be aware, we're essentially just covering misinformation that's spread from somebody in the small town that we grew up in. He's been somebody who's cultivated like a kind of like a cult, essentially, of following people. Like, and he is convinced. He's convinced a lot of people of like of a lesser severity of COVID-19, essentially. But most, if you've seen any of the conspiracy stuff online, he's essentially just one of the little cult leaders for that. So, so we're just going through all of his claims essentially and just like debunking it, because we're already so like knowledgeable on this that why not, Okay, so we left off, I believe, pretty much near the end of this thing here. We already did the all these other professors, I believe, and stuff here.
Yep.
And this is all, they're just fluffing them here.
We were talking about like the other experts and institutions referenced in research articles below.
Yeah. And so this point is not like super, I guess not super important. Like it's just talking about other people, I guess. Cool. Like, that's okay. And if anything, all this means is that like they're actually getting media attention, and they're just lying when they complain about not getting media attention, because
Right.
on one hand they say they aren't, and then you list things like the Lancet and the Journal and blah blah blah. Right? It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
The main thing to end off with on here, which was a large part of his point, is this John guy, right? The John I doctor or whatever, or professor, who I believe is an epidemiologist or epidemiologist. Yeah.
Epidemiologist.
So he did this study, and I went through it, and it's really great because essentially what this so there was 2 studies that he was a part of. He was a part of that one with other people where he was talking about lockdowns, and then this one he's talking about the I believe it's the PCR test and the, or maybe it's, yeah, it's testing anyways, and essentially they're determining like the amount of people who have COVID relative to like the deaths and stuff, right? So what they determined essentially from this is that, and this is kind of something we touched on earlier yesterday, with the, he talked about a percentage in here. So the 99.95% survival rate, and and the where is it? And the 0.13, or I think they also talk about it as 0.12, which is the number I got, but I mean that a fractional difference. I could use the 1.3 and it'd be fine if we want to go off of Bob Bland's numbers here. So this is what he has determined the amount of people who get COVID-19 from his study here. He's determined that this is the amount of people who will die from it. So if you get COVID-19, 0.13% of people who get COVID-19 will be dying from it. And I went through the study. If all the math was right and everything, then it would make sense. We talked about some of the issues with the study yesterday about why it wouldn't be like a properly like randomized test, I guess. Like that's
because it's non-representative of the entire population.
Yeah, exactly. So we've addressed those issues already. Now we're going to address the easiest way to approach the attack on this one, though. We can rhetorically attack it in that way. Like we discussed earlier about how it's probably not just efficient, and that would explain why these numbers don't work when I'm about to explain the math. But now we're going to explain the math part of it, which is my favorite part. So we can very easily test this number for the like if this is actually a real world number, if that makes sense. And we can do that because the deaths are a much more like consistent thing. Because COVID-19 has asymptomatic spread, it means that there's going to be a large portion of and like a large portion of people who just won't have symptoms at all. It means that there's going to be a large portion of people who will never get tested because they just didn't think that they, with no symptoms and stuff, or like really mild symptoms, people just might not even think they need to get tested, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, but the deaths, on the other hand, if you die from COVID-19, you die from it. Like that people figure, like you're going to have to be assessed for why you died, right? So the deaths are much more reliable. We can concretely say that the death numbers are very accurate, right? Whereas we don't know exactly if like the amount of people who have COVID-19, if that number is exactly accurate. We're trying to be as much as we can. But the deaths are important. We can backwards test this number that he's come to the conclusion of with math. I fucking love math, let me tell you. Oh my god. So I focus a lot of my my perspective. I try to like look at things from a mathematical perspective in as many cases as I can, and this is one of them where it just turns out to be really fun. So there's an equation we can do to really quickly test if this is feasible, this math here, and you can use this a lot of examples, but New York is a great one. New York City deaths COVID-19. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our deaths for New York City specifically. So here's New York City cases. This is what they claim the cases are. Now, this Professor John I, he wouldn't agree with this number. He thinks that it's way larger than this.
Right.
But we do know the deaths definitely concretely are 32,456. So we're going to take that number, 32,456, And
Mhm.
we are going to divide it by the number that John has given us to see what the relative amount of people who would have to get COVID-19, according to his math, would need to be in order to have this many deaths. So we divide it by the number he gives us, 0. And math, I don't know if anyone's ever done percentile math, but you can double check me online and look up how to do it. This is correct. But when you do percentile math, at the end of the equation, it's usually like the small number divided by the big number and then times 100, right? So in this case, using his number, it would be it would look smaller because it's divided by 100. We haven't done that portion yet. We're working backwards. So 0.00, right? Because you divide it by 100. 00, and then we'll use Bob Leyland's number 13. So just so you guys understand that 0.0013, that's derived from this number here, divided by 100, because we're doing percentile math. Okay.
Which was given to us by John I.
Yeah,
based
John
on
I.
his case study.
Exactly. Yeah. This number right here is the amount of people that would need to get COVID-19 in New York City in order to have this many deaths. So we're just means testing his math here right now. Very, very simple. Anyone can do this. Is so simple math. So simple math. 24,966,153 people, 0.8 or whatever. Right, roughly. Right. I mean, this number's not going to be varied that much from that. 24 million people, 25 million people. Right. Now here's the fun part.
Yeah.
Here's the fun part. You ready for this? New York City population. You see that?
8.4 million.
Oh, is that the state actually? New York State? No, that is the city, I believe. Or maybe it's not right. Metro area was 18,000 or 18 million. Wait.
That's just for that's like the actual like city.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure this math is right here. 1 second.
I think so. If you go back to your other one, like New York, like the state of New York.
Yeah.
Right. It had like 2 million.
Yeah, this is a state. It's 19.84. Yeah, so this would be the state, then, right? Yeah. Not the city. This should be the city.
Yeah, that's the city. Yeah. 8 million is just the city.
Yeah. So, just curious. And either way, it wouldn't matter because like it would be more anyways. But look at how off the math is, right? 8 million. We need 25 million people to live in New York in order to have those.
Well, hold on. Go back to the other tab. Because the math that you use, this is just for New York City.
Yep.
2.04 million. That's for the state of New York.
Sorry, what was that?
Wouldn't you want to use like the whole state cases and not just the city?
So the reason why we use the city is because the city is densely populated. So and New York City specifically, the city very specifically had a really bad outbreak. They had really high death tolls. So the way that you can means test his math, essentially, the best way to means test it is to take areas that definitely had extremes for cases.
Right.
And then you'll get like really obvious results if his math is anywhere near right. Now we can obviously, so I've already done this, but we could go through. I believe I checked like the entire state of Texas and stuff, and it ended up being more there too. So you don't have to just do the city, but the city was like an example that was given essentially.
I wanted just clarification on that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. As long as we're doing things consistently and the numbers are, so when we talk about the city, if I take the deaths from the city, I just want to make sure I'm looking at the population of only the city then, so that we're doing this right. So that's the thing, right? How is it possible then? His math could not work. It's not possible. Like when you actually have real world applications of his math, it doesn't end up being that way, right? At all. So immediately, we just throw it out. What's the point of science? Here's my question, and I'm sure I would say this exactly to Bob too. What is the point of science if you cannot have practical and real-world application of that science?
Right.
If it doesn't have practical and real-world application, it's useless. We throw it out. I don't fucking want it. What's the point of it, right? And that's the case. Right. This is just not representative at all, right? Like, this is a huge miscalculation. Look at that. Look at that number. 25 million.
Yeah, you're off
that's
by
insane.
Like 17 million there.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, and we're
Which is a lot of fucking people.
and the
Like,
state of
considering
New
there's
York.
17, yeah, there's
We're,
only 18 million people in the state. It's
we
like,
we need more people than live in the state to just
yeah.
account for the city. Insane.
Mhm.
And like I said, we can do this with I'll just give the other example too, right? You can do this with multiple locations, but I did it with Texas too. Texas deaths, COVID, just to show that it's not just a couple outliers. It is very consistently bad math.
Mhm.
And we do this math in places like Canada. You notice that I did it with like a couple places, Alberta and stuff. It requires like pretty much half of our population or more, 50% or more of our population to have received it.
Mhm.
This is because Canada's like death rate was considerably lower than the U.S. Because our responses were better. But even then, if you look at it, like I don't know how anyone could claim that like half of our population has been sick. Do you think that half of Albertans have been sick? I don't think so. Like,
Right.
not at all. Like even the anti-lockdown people would contest that half of Alberta has been sick, right? That would be insane to them.
Yeah.
So there's no way. Let's see. So we're talking about this is Texas. Yeah. Okay. So Texas deaths 50,196. So 50,196 divided by 0.0013. So we'd need a population of 38 million. 38.5 million. And Texas population 29 million.
Yeah.
So look at that. We're off by like 10 almost. 10 million.
Yeah.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, so even on the grand scale, it just doesn't math out. His math is completely fucked. Completely fucked. And it's really embarrassing too, because this dude released this like I think it was last October that he came up with this. I don't remember, but yeah, just really embarrassing.
Okay. So just putting that into the point then, how exactly would I go about wording that? Let's see.
You could just say that simple means testing of the math concludes that the population required to have been sick using his death rate of 0.13%.
Using John's percent of 0.13%.
Yep. Sorry, what? Can you read that back to me? My brain fucking blanked.
Simple means testing of the math concludes that the population using John's percent of 0.13%.
John's not percent of it. John's fatality rate of 1.3% or 0.13%.
Fatality rate of 0.13%.
Concludes that the popular or that what's the word? It concludes that the amount of people required to have been sick or to have been I guess what would the word be? The amount of people required to have been infected, yeah, by COVID-19 does not exist in the populations measured.
Does not exist in the populations measured.
Cool.
Awesome.
I don't know, like we can elaborate on this. We can make our claims and we can elaborate on it later.
I feel like I'm like cool, just like kind of like leaving it kind of like open, because this way, if he tries to be like, oh no, like the math is like sound and solid, then we can elaborate it further on that.
Yeah, exactly. And
because it's like if he wants to dig his grave, then
I'd rather catch him with his pounds down on a point like this, because this is completely like irrefutable, right? Rather than like be on his platform and give him, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
kind of the annoying
100%.
part of this whole fucking thing. So yeah. So that's that. That's the math. There you go. Now you know. Very fun. Now we go back.
Point 2.
And on to point 2, yeah. So that covers that. PCR testing. We know lots about this already. This is fairly simple. I mostly just read the studies here, and I can just give you a TLDR about the studies. I do recommend that you read them if you get a chance. And I'll, like I said, I'll have them in the
like read his studies or read.
Yeah, read the studies essentially and get a good idea.
You'll have to send them to me because I don't have the screenshots.
I got them in my for sure. I got them opened here. So PCR testing. Died with COVID or died from COVID. So there he's prescribing his beliefs. PCR measured in cycle threshold. Experts strongly recommend no higher than 24. So from the studies that I read here, one of the studies that they cite about the number 24 or lower, or 25 or lower, whatever they want to say, kind of thing. They're misreading the study. The study claims that there seems to be a correlation between when you get a cycle threshold of like 24 or below. It seems very consistent that those people are infectious. It says nothing about whether or not the results are accurate about whether you have COVID-19 or anything above 24. It just says that there seems to be some kind of correlation between people being infectious. So you could probably be pretty confident in an assertion that somebody's infectious if they have a CT value like less than 24. But what they're doing is they're reading that and then they're saying, they're saying anything. So yes, 24 CT is recommended by epidemiologists, blah 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 blah. And then what they do is they claim that anything higher than 24 is like a false positive, which is not what the studies claim at all. It does not say that at all anywhere. No studies claim that is true. So the 24 number is like what's the word? It's like a misrepresentation, essentially. They're just not reading the study. Like, read the study again, because the study disagrees with their conclusion. So if you want to word that, you could just say...
24 CT is misrepresentation.
Yeah, like, how would I put that? CT values of 24 or lower does not mean... So you could just say this. CT values of 24 or lower means, specifically, that the infected individual is likely contagious, according to the studies cited. No studies claim that a CT value over 24 is a false positive. Read your studies. Fuck. And that's, I don't know, that's it for that point. Like,
okay, so CT24 or lower means specifically that the infected individual is likely contagious according to the study cited. No study claimed that a study over 24, or no study claimed that a CT over 24. No study claimed that a CT over 24 is a false positive. Read your studies. Give me 1 second. My doorbell just rang twice. I gotta go see what Jamie's doing.
Yeah, LG. Oh boy.
Okay, hello, I'm back.
Hello. I ate a snap pea. Actually, I ate 2.
Okay.
Yum.
I was, like, just as I got to the door, Jamie was like, "Wait, I'm here," because I gave her my wallet, right?
Hell
and
yeah.
I was like, "Why did the doorbell ring twice?" She was like, "Sorry, I was getting out of the bath," and I was like, "That checks out."
Makes sense. Classic.
Okay. Are we doing anything else for PCR testing, or just no?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to put, right? Like, you can put whatever you want to reply to, essentially, right? Because you're kind of the one that wants to write that part. So, I'll just go over everything that I know, essentially, just so you know it. So, Alberta uses up to 45. Alberta uses a PCR, like CT, of 45, creating over 95% false positive cases, fake cases. This is just straight up a lie. This is just literally a lie. We use 35.
uses a CT of 35. Do we have anything to cite that?
Yeah, I mean, if you want a link or whatever, I can send you one.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Because I know he's going to be like, where's the link? Where's the citation?
There we go. It's a study that they cite themselves. Just to make sure that I'm reading
Very
it
good.
correctly. Alberta. 35.
Very good.
And into the links.
Into the links.
There you go.
Very good.
I love that link. That link tab. So good.
That is very good.
Cool.
Okay.
There you go.
That one takes care of that.
Yeah, that takes care of that. The 45 thing doesn't even really matter either. Like, from what I can tell online, a lot of people do talk about like CT values of like of I've kind of talked to you about this before, up to like, what is it, like 37, and then like or maybe it's like 36 or whatever, and then like there's like this weird like middle ground where like 37, 38, 39 are kind of like debated. Like, those ones are like they're on the fence about it, and then they do a couple more tests, like they double test and stuff to like make sure, and they check for like if you have symptoms and stuff, to just like to make sure that like it makes sense before they like make that a positive, essentially. And then
Right.
40 and above, for those tests that I was reading about, they would consider falses. But like, or like or what's the word, yeah, just like you don't have COVID kind of thing, inconclusive maybe, I don't know. But I read up more about it, and that was just I was just reading like the Ontario guides for it, essentially. And for like the test that they were talking about, I guess that depending on what manufacturer of test you get and stuff, the CT values can fluctuate. It just depends on the specific test and what they recommend for that test. So 45, and I looked it up too, and that in that link I just sent you, it does talk about how there was a couple hospitals in Ontario, or maybe it was just one hospital actually, I think, in Ontario, that has a CT value of 45. It's the only place in Canada that does that. For 45, and they're testing for a different thing than anyone else is testing for. They're testing for the E, what's it called? Fuck, I forget what it is. E gene or something like that. I don't remember. But they're testing for like a different thing, essentially. So of course, like, I'm sure that the CT value would be different then. It's not really surprising. There doesn't seem to be anything online that says definitively that like CT values over this number is like bad or whatever. This just doesn't seem to be a thing.
Right.
Depends on the test. This is just more misunderstanding. PCR testing in layman's terms. So then he just talks about a lot of like bullshit here. CT is set too high, 95% false positives. This is just false. Negative consequences, healthy people sent home to quarantine. Misclassification of deaths, false cases, creating unnecessary fear. So this is where he built his entire understanding of this thing, right? He starts with like incorrect information, and then he builds all of these really stupid what's the word? Prescriptions from there. CT set correctly, 24. So now he's telling you this is what we should do. CT set correctly to 24. False positive, false negative balance. This just demonstrates that he doesn't understand what the CT value means at all, and he's just reading regurgitated nonsense. Positive consequences, no infected people walking around, no quarantining healthy people. This is just misunderstanding that if you're asymptomatic, you can still spread. So he's just being obtuse. If you'd like to create an illusion of a pandemic, crank up the cycle threshold to 41 to 45. This is, like I said, we've already covered that. The numbers can be fine. That might be fine for some things. And generally, when the cycle threshold gets really that high, they usually need to test multiple times, maybe use different tests, search for the other, so the tests will search for either the N or the RT, or the E. And if they get like cycle thresholds really high for the E, then a way to check for to like double check to see if that actually is positive, is they'll do one for the RT as well, and then see if that one ends up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But this is something that's easily explained, like maybe to him, because he probably just doesn't understand this very basic shit. All governments across Canada use 40 to 45. This is just false. Like I said, the study I just sent you, they go over. You can probably see it here. They go over all of the provinces here. So you see Alberta, BC, BC, like they go over all of it here, and then the numbers are here. So 35, 35, 35, 40, 35, 35, 36.5, 40, 33, 35, 38. There's a lot under 40 here, and like I said before, 40 is fine anyways. So And there's
Right.
actually only like what 2 above 40, which are these 2, right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just lying, just literally lying,
Right.
still
Okay,
lying.
well, I'm gonna. Why the fuck you lying? Okay, so your prescription.
What you could say if you want to be like really like rhetorically memey, is you could say your entire prescription is non sequitur.
How do you fuck do you spell that? Non sequitur.
It's fancy. You might have to just like look it up here. I could look at it. Actually, 1 second.
Actually, I think I got it on the first try.
Very good.
Sequidar.
Wait. Say that again.
Sequidar.
No, it's sequitur.
SEQ. Oh, SEQ. Okay. Oh, instead of okay. So instead of a D, it's a T, and instead of a ER, it's a UR. Still pretty fucking close, though.
True. You tried.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
what that
your
means is that it doesn't
entire
follow
is non sequitur.
Yeah, what that means is that his conclusion doesn't follow from the evidence because his evidence is wrong.
Right. So your entire description is non sequitur, as proven by a study cited.
Yeah. And your clear misunderstanding of how cycle threshold works.
Misunderstanding of how cycle threshold works. Awesome.
Cool. Fact: fraudulent PCR testing has caused thousands of deaths to be labeled as COVID-19 deaths. No, because we have excess deaths, so he's just being fucking obtuse again. When they were not, falsifying of death certificates continues to play out. And then he's going to quote Dr. Roger Hodgkinson, the pathologist, who's clearly in the exact right field for making statements on this. The absolute expert himself.
So Doctor. Is in fact not a epidemiologist.
And he says PCR is not the gold standard. It's a huge misrepresentation. It's notorious for the trade for being inaccurate, false positives in particular, especially with high cycle times. We've disproven this in our
Yeah.
documents.
So Doctor is in fact not an epidemiologist.
Yeah, this is just false positives just aren't a thing. Like that's just not a thing. Like they happen, but like at a very extremely like low rate. It's like 0.1% or something. I don't remember. It's fucking crazy low.
But rather a pathologist. PCR
less than 0.01.
testing is the gold standard.
PCR testing is our best method. It is the most accurate method that we have available.
Is the gold standard that we have available right now.
Yeah, it's literally just the best option we have, so we have to use what we have. That it is what it is. There's nothing better. You're not giving us any better options. So
the actual number of false positives
is a rate less than 0.01%.
Is a rate less than 0.01%, as cited. That's under testing, right?
Yeah, it's under testing. Yeah. Damn, I love organization.
Which one is it? COVID-19 laboratory testing, right? Yep.
Yep.
That's the one I want, as cited. Literally just copy and paste.
Was that a? I forget.
It's Public Health Ontario META document.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. That's good enough.
So it's like laboratory testing Q&As.
Right. PCR is notoriously unreliable. Yeah, that's fine. Just send him the whole fucking. He likes to gish gallop people, so he can get fucked.
Literally.
PCR is notoriously unreliable and should never be used for testing for asymptomatic people. Like I maybe partially can agree with this, but not for the reason why he's agreeing, like why he's saying this. I would say maybe don't use it on asymptomatic people because it might just end up being like more of a waste of money. But it depends on like what you want to do, right? Like so when you test asymptomatic people, you likely it's very likely to get like false negatives. Because there's such low amounts in them that like it requires a cycle threshold of like 40 or above or whatever, like some crazy amount to like get a positive, and then they sit and they look at it and they go, okay, well this is too many cycles, so they throw it out. And in reality, they probably did have COVID, but it was just so low because it was so early. Like there wasn't very many viruses in their blood to replicate because it's so it works.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say if anything, maybe don't test like asymptomatic people unless there is like good other reasons to, like say you know that they were in contact with someone who was infected, or like reasons like that, or they're showing symptoms or whatever, but then that wouldn't be asymptomatic, right? So but that's how we're doing things anyways right now, right? So this is just I'm just like rambling at this point.
We're like we're like, sure, this is already what we're doing. So
like, I'm like, I agree with the statement, and we're actually doing what I would say we should be doing. That's pretty much it. Like, cool. Like point of care testing, these rapid antigen tests have their own problems. I don't care about antigen tests at all. Like cool. That's not at all relevant. The deaths themselves are massively overstated. Cool. So much of this is literally just like theater, so much of his fucking post is just like useless stuff, just theatrical displays of like his
I know
opinions.
at one
It's
point
so
when he posted this, he was like, he posted an entire conversation that he had with someone, and I was like, what's the point of this? What is the relevance?
I know, it's just like, look at my anecdotes. Fucking idiot. Actual like low brain fucking, oh my god. Okay, I'm getting too carried away here.
Sure.
Want to become famous? Buy followers and viewers on https://nlnk.ru/rzwwa. Big follows com.
They'll probably just post once and then like they'll fuck off. But
okay. Very good. Okay, I'll leave it then. If they comment again, then you get the death.
You get the death.
Okay, there's a lot of misclassifications of causes of death. Causes of death due to cancer and heart disease are falling off the map. I haven't found any evidence that that's the case. I'm sure that there's some amount that's been lowered. I'm sure it's insignificant. We have excess deaths this year compared to last year, and so this doesn't explain that at all, right? So I don't like... I'm sure that some amount of people would have died from cancer or heart disease, but then died prematurely from COVID. I'm sure that's possible because the people who mostly die from cancer and heart disease are old people because they're more susceptible to it. And guess what? They're also susceptible to COVID-19. Therefore, I'm sure some amount of these, does that make sense? Comorbidities, right?
No, 100%. Yeah, exactly. It's like we already understand that COVID attacks like immunocompromised people. Generally, people with cancer and heart disease are already immunocompromised. So
yeah, exactly.
If they died like prematurely from COVID, it's not the fact that they died with COVID. It's the fact that COVID killed them earlier than what was expecting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So pretty straightforward. Blah blah blah. Lockdowns should stop tomorrow. They don't work. Lockdowns don't work, and they have terrible consequences. Once again, the lockdowns should stop. They don't work. That's a lie. They do work. Conveniently, I looked back at that study that we were looking at yesterday, and they ignore areas where really harsh lockdowns were put into effect. So they don't pay any attention to China, where harsh lockdowns were put into effect and were effective. They don't pay attention to New Zealand at all. Like all the places that had actual definitive lockdowns, they just ignore, which I think is hilarious. So So when you say lockdowns don't work based on these studies, it's because the studies are ignoring the places where actual lockdowns happened.
China and New Zealand. If you are going to make this statement that lockdowns don't work, then you have to have a study that includes places where they implemented full lockdowns. Otherwise, your findings will be biased to fit your narrative.
True.
Which is essentially just cherry-picked information.
It is. It is. Unsurprisingly, because we all know that Dr. John I, specifically, is very notable for wanting to point out consistently problems in scientific evaluations and stuff. It almost seems like he has like a bias towards that, you know?
Right.
So it's not surprising that a study he was a part of
Found that.
seemed to ignore all of the things that went against their points.
Yeah.
Now, lockdowns don't work and they have terrible consequences. The first part of that sentence is incorrect. They have terrible consequences is correct. They have bad consequences. Once again, we can mitigate these through legislation.
Right, and so I think I'll concede that point. Like I'll put it in here, being like, I think we can agree that lockdowns can have terrible consequences. But these can be mitigated through proper legislation.
True.
Sweet.
Very good. And then he's got some links here. Just shit. I don't care. I would watch this at all.
Yeah, we don't.
Dr. Hodgkinson is not an epidemiologist. I don't give a fuck what he says. I might as well get an opinion from a 5-year-old. Just as relevant. Interview.
Correct.
And then Daniel Smith. This is somebody
Smith.
who used to be like the leader of the the Wild Rose or something. I don't fucking remember. Or maybe it was the Conservative Party. I don't know. She's cringe.
I think it's the Wild Rose. He seems to be buddy with the Wild Rose Party lately.
Yeah, I have to look
Bob.
up. I have to look up the Wild Rose more too because I'm pretty sure they're a separatist party if I remember correctly, which is a pretty
pretty sure
interesting
they are.
take for somebody who probably claims to have the better interests of Canadians.
But don't you know, Quentin? Alberta separating is the best thing for Albertans and Canadians. Fuck the left. Fuck Ontario trying to steal our oil. If they can't heat their homes, that's their problem. They should have invested more money into oil.
They won't build pipelines? Fuck. Well, we better leave the only fucking contractually what's the word effective means to like actually get pipelines built and like landlock the fuck out of ourselves and make it even more difficult to make deals to get pipelines built because that's a good response.
Literally.
Big brain shit, my dude.
My favorite thing ever is like people are just like, oh, Alberta is going to separate the rest of the world. But won't the states just like invade you? And they're like, no, they wouldn't do that. It's like, what's stopping them? Canada isn't going to protect us. Canada's going to be like, yeah, we'll protect you if you come back.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I would say, if anything, like, that's a possibility, but I would say that's a very, very low possibility. If anything, I would say that us leaving just fucks us economically. Yeah, like, it just fucks us economically because now, like, we have, like, much less to offer to everybody, you know? Being a part of Canada, we
have, what do we have? We have a little bit of lumber and crude oil, baby.
Crude oil. Doesn't everybody want that? Oh.
We have the exact same stuff that we had before we left.
True, but now we just have way less strength on our side, way less bargaining power. That's fine. Fuck it. I really want to debate somebody about separatism. Oh my fuck, that's gonna be a good one. Anyways, continuing on. So Daniel Smith, in some interview with Jason Kenney, are you aware of the problems of the PCR test? Yes, I read the New York Times, blah, 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 in September, I believe it was, which concluded, I think they thought 90% of the PCR tests which they assessed with scientific experts were below the threshold of being infectious, pardon me. So here he even says the same thing. He's literally saying the exact same thing, but they're just being dumb fucks.
Yeah.
So with the CT value higher than 24, it's likely that you are not infectious. But that just probably because it's probably because you just got the virus, and so there's not very many in you, right? And so you needed the higher like cycle threshold value to get it to show up, kind of thing, right? Which likely means that you might not be infectious. It's hard to say, right? But that's just likely, right? Cool. This is something we've already talked about. This doesn't prove anything at all. Like, this is just him saying something that's true. Blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. Here's the interview. Kenny admits to faulty PCR testing, which he does not admit to faulty PCR testing. He just states facts, but whatever. Kenny admits the PCR cycle threshold in Alberta he's using is 41. This is just incorrect. He's not the... I don't care what Kenny says about it.
Mhm.
I care what this other document says about it, because Kenny is
Yeah, and
not
also Kennedy isn't
a
our
scientist.
health minister.
Yeah, Kenny is literally incompetent. Of course he's gonna say something that's stupid like that. Like, this isn't his field. What do you expect? If you ask him like what the answer to a complex like math equation is, he probably wouldn't be able to figure it out either. But then we could like take his answer and be like, oh, you know, you're being stupid. And then the percentage of all positive cases that required a cycle threshold greater than 30 is 35%. Does that make sense to you? The percentage of all positive cases that required a cycle threshold greater than 30 is 35%. At 30 cycles, 80% of positive test results are dead. So this is just more lies. Non-infectious viral material, aka meaningless, not a case, not anything worth discussing. At 35 cycles, this becomes 97%. So he's just doing like dumb math, and then making like really bold claims that are non sequitur.
Hey,
Harvard's...
thanks for talking about the stream, Skella. And no, you're the man.
You the man.
You the man.
Harvard's
Thanks
Dr.
for popping
Mina
by.
told the Times he would set the cycle threshold to 30 or even less. He is not the only expert to say so. This is fine. I don't care if there's like some people who say that maybe it should be lower.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really like matter as long as the numbers aren't actually making false positives. Now, something we can point to prove that our positives are likely like that we're not getting false positives. Number one, that study that went through it and noted that there just wasn't false positive. That's one thing. That's just literally a study that says that. And then another thing is that the deaths line up very closely with what we assumed they would be. Now, if all that lines up very closely, then the previous math, which leads you to the deaths as well and stuff, like working backwards, is likely true as well, right? Does that make sense? It's really hard to like make these claims. You know, like, it's probably fine at whatever it's set at right now because it seems to be accurate. The numbers that we're getting from it seem to be accurate. Everything seems to be mathematically lining up. So I have no reason to believe that this is necessary. Like, maybe there's a little bit of a good argument towards it, you know. But in that case, then maybe we're underreporting the amount of cases, right? Even more, because we probably already are, right? And then in that case, then your death rate would technically be even like considered to be even higher because you would have less cases that are like positives, or whatever. We want our death rate to be as accurate as possible. So we want as many like proper positives as possible, essentially. So this could actually negatively affect things. The New York Times exposed, and once again, every test is different, so just having a blanket statement of like they should all be 30 is kind of dumb, actually, because some might be better at doing higher amounts. New York Times exposed article, Jason Kenney references, your coronavirus test is positive, maybe it shouldn't be, I don't care about that. Portugal, like, I don't care about like opinion articles and stuff. This doesn't matter to me. I'm not gonna base my opinions on other people's like trash opinions.
This next one seems also kind of like just like opinionated.
Yeah, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. We're appealing to like some like judge and their opinion on it and like a legal ruling. I don't give a fuck about what a judge thinks or what a judge ruled. I'm not talking about legalities surrounding this. I'm talking about science and whether or not the science says that it's accurate or not, whether or not the studies say it's accurate or not. So I'm gonna throw this whole fucking thing out. I read this thing, and it largely disputes the points that he's making here. He just cherry picks some things and says that like, oh, the judge said that it was bad, so therefore it is bad. But if you read this, it talks about how most of the scientists in Germany were like, what? I think it was Germany, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Most of the scientists in Germany were Portugal. Yeah, Portugal. I thought, fuck, Portugal makes me think of the U.S., but
no, Portugal is definitely part of Europe, but it's not Germany.
Oh, okay. Well, most of the people, like maybe it was German scientists or something. I don't know, but most of the people, the scientists or whatever, German, people, essentially scientists like refuted this and they were like, no. Apparently the judge like misread some data essentially and like misinterpreted what it meant. And then came up with the conclusion that PCR tests are unreliable, so they're just being a dumb fuck. Which I'm not surprised because judges are not scientists.
Yeah,
you know?
judges are not scientists, right?
They understand like legal jargon. They don't understand like I don't think that it's a prerequisite to understand like scientific like
To
terms
become a
and
judge.
stuff. Yeah, to become a judge. Yeah, so I don't give a fuck what a judge says about this at all. This doesn't prove
Yeah,
anything.
literally.
The Lancet is a weekly peer-reviewed general medical journal. It's among the world's oldest and best-known general medical journals. I don't think I've read this yet. I don't know what this is.
Well.
False positive COVID-19 results, hidden problems and costs. Okay, let's read the results of this. Oh fuck, is there not a god damn it. Okay, to summarize, false positive COVID-19 swab tests might be increasingly likely in the current epidemiological climate in the UK, with substantial consequences at the personal health system and societal levels. Several measures might help to minimize false positive results and mitigate possible consequences. Firstly, stricter standards should be imposed in laboratory testing. This includes the development and implementation of external quality assessment schemes and internal quality schemes, such as automatic blinded replication of a small number of tests to performance monitoring to ensure false positive and false negative rates remain low, and to permit withdrawal of a manufacturing test at the earliest possibility. Secondly,
Malfunctioning.
malfunctioning, yeah. Secondly, pretest probability assessments should be considered and clear evidence-based guidelines on interpretation of test results developed. Thirdly, policies regarding the testing and prevention of virus transmission in healthcare workers might need adjustments. With an immediate second test implemented for any healthcare worker testing positive. Finally, research is urgently required into the clinical and epidemiological significance of prolonged virus shedding and the role of people recovering from COVID-19. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think anything it's saying here is like necessarily disagreeable, you know?
Right.
What is it trying to... context of the pretests, probability of disease, the pretest probability... Oh, yeah, this is fine. This is already how we do things. I don't understand. Any diagnostic test should be interpreted in the context of the greatest or the pretest probability of disease, is what I talked about before. For COVID-19, the pretest probability assessment includes if you have symptoms. So what that means is that they don't just look at your cycle thresholds and stuff. They also and like whether or not the PCR test is you're positive or not. They also look at if you have symptoms, previous medical history of COVID-19 or presence of antibodies at all, any potential exposure. So this would be like direct contact or like secondary or whatever. You remember how there's like different levels or whatever.
Yeah.
And likelihood of an alternative diagnosis. So yeah, this doesn't prove anything. We're already doing this.
Yeah.
Like, they're just talking about things that could potentially happen here. This doesn't prove anything.
And this is also in the UK.
Yeah, sure. And this is exactly it too, right? Like our death rates, like I said before, they closely align with what was predicted. All the other math seems to be correct as well. It doesn't seem to be like that far off. So this isn't actually disputing anything. It's just saying like what we should do, and we're already doing it. So I don't know what he's complaining about. Governor DeSantis of the state of Florida demands to see COVID PCR cycle threshold value to end fraudulent use of testing methodology. So this is some fucking government official who's probably a Republican. Okay, let's just look up his name. If he's a Republican, I'm gonna ignore everything that he says because
He's a
like welcome to like Trump is like a dumb fuck, except it's just Republicans.
So Governor DeSantis, Ron DeSantis, literally is a member of the Republican Party. He represents Florida's 6th congressional district in the United States. House of Representatives from 2013 to 2018.
Beautiful. Ignoring. Politician. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, not a scientist.
Not a scientist. Nova Scotia, Canada PCR testing cycle threshold. The PCR cycle threshold used in Nova Scotia ranges from 34 to 37. Okay, let's check that thing again. Was it this one?
Right there. No.
No?
Or is it this one? I don't think it's this one.
This one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Was it Nova Scotia? Fuck, what was it? What was I reading?
Yeah, it was Nova Scotia. It was Nova Scotia.
NS. This one.
It was 35. So
Okay.
I think it said 34 to 37 is what it said. Yeah, 34 to 37.
Cool. Now we'll read this. I'm gonna kill myself in a video game. Fuck. The moment it loads. Okay. Freedom of information request. So this is just another dumb fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. 35 or less than 35, positive. 35 to 38, indeterminate. That's when you need like a lot of other stuff, multiple tests then, or like other factors to be considered for sure. And you would need the other factors usually here too. You would consider them still, but they're required for a positive here, whereas they might not necessarily be required here. Yeah, I don't. He's positive based on manufacturer criteria. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so Oh, so these are the different tests, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there's just different numbers because of the different tests. Cool. That's fine.
Which would make sense.
And they're all under 42, which was like the that was like it seemed like the main number, so
yeah,
that I could find lots of people going off of. So international. Okay, so I'm just cool. Non-point saying the same shit. International experts suggest that up to 90% of COVID cases could be false positives. This is just not true. False positives, like I said before, we have a study backing it. Useless.
Yep. Understanding cycle threshold.
Is this a? What is this experts anyways? Here, I'm just curious. Okay, so they're just questioning the cycle threshold thing again.
Yeah.
However, Saskatchewan did provide us with a journal clinical virology study. Okay, where's the fucking data? Published a story entitled "Your Coronavirus Test Positive. Maybe it shouldn't be interviewed." Okay. Okay, so this is once again, these experts are just talking about infectious again. That's all they're talking about. That's what this whole thing is. These experts, it's just infectious thing again. This is just more of the same shit that he's been talking about before. He's just misinterpreting what that CT value thing is. Once again, it's all the same. That's what that is. England Public Health Understanding Cycle Thresholds. This is probably the same thing. Cycle thresholds, right? Okay. Good. Okay, point 3. Mortality research. I haven't read into any of these ones yet, so hopefully we've already covered a lot of this stuff. Mortality research. Flying blind. Mortality study January 1st to August 31st, 2020. Government of Canada and Alberta healthcare data compiled by a team of medical doctors. Please see the report link below. Using 5-year average, research shows sudden drops in deaths from cancer, heart disease, influenza, pneumonia, chronic lower... What is that?
Respiratory.
Okay. Stroke. Total. Faulty PCR testing methodology creates misclassification of deaths. Individuals are dying with COVID, not from it. Okay, so this is incorrect. We have an excess of, 7,500 deaths.
Okay, so hold on.
This literally just ignores our excess deaths.
Excess of 7,500 deaths, right?
Yeah, I'll just double check that. I believe that we, the actual excess deaths we had was about 70,000 or 7,500, and what we predicted the COVID deaths to be was like 8,345.
That
deaths.
PCR.
Government data showing that there were 7,500 excess deaths.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay,
so just completely
your point
ignoring
claiming that PCR testing is creating misclassification of deaths is just...
Oh, it's not PCR data. It's just government data, or that's just government data. It's the point that
So you're
that
point claiming that PCR testing is creating a misclassification of deaths? No?
it has. I guess maybe. Oh, he did talk. Sorry, I didn't realize that there was a little thing.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm a dumbass. Continue.
That's why I was like, it literally says it right there.
I didn't remember reading that part because that was his part where he
Okay.
interjected his opinion.
Yeah, so it's like your point claiming that PCR testing is creating misclassifications of deaths is strictly wrong because...
And doesn't, and doesn't account for the excess 7,500 deaths in
doesn't
2020.
account for the excess deaths as mentioned above. Again, here is a link to a study. And
Not
that's
a
just
study.
deaths.
It's not a study.
Oh.
It's just government data.
Here's a link to government data. And that was just in the deaths section, correct?
Yep, just the deaths. This is like the first thing in the death section, I believe, because it's like the main point that most people go to, right?
So I can just copy that link though, right?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to. If he wants to fucking create essay long fucking paragraphs, I will happily do the same. Okay, what else we going on to now?
Okay, Alberta ICU capacity dropped in 2020. So this is just facts or whatever. Capacity dropped in 2020. I believe this would just be because every time that COVID ramped up, we would like keep space saved for people who had COVID. So sure, this might be true.
Sure, might be true.
Not that it's even relevant. It's just he's just stating facts, which I don't really care about. PCR testing used very incorrectly, creating a massive amount of false cases, causing the misclassification of deaths, creating unwarranted fear and chaos. So he's just repeating points here again, just to like fill the empty space. Albertans are dying with COVID, not from it. Okay, cool. So this is his prescription again, which is just like non sequitur. It's the same thing. Dying with COVID. If COVID contributed to your death meaningfully, then you died from COVID. If it didn't, then it wouldn't be considered a COVID death.
Right.
It's so simple. I don't know why we don't understand this. Nurses, doctors...
A little Baba could figure it out.
True. Nurses, doctors are being threatened into silence. Like, maybe. I don't know. These things are so hard to prove. Like...
Yeah, like how do you prove that, right?
Yeah, like, and even if like that was the case, maybe like, so if I work at co-op and I go around saying things that will reduce public trust in co-op, I would very much expect to have ramifications placed upon me for spreading information that may remove trust in the corporation, right? This is standard business procedure. If you don't like it, then you don't like capitalism. So,
true.
This means nothing to me. It has nothing to do with whether COVID's real or not. In 2018, 3,053 Albertans were admitted to the hospital with influenza and pneumonia. That was a particularly bad flu season. What? Influenza and pneumonia. So that's why that number's so huge. 8,511 Canadians died due to influenza and pneumonia in 2018.
So
7,000
more people died from it than people were admitted to the hospital with it.
Wait, what?
So you said in 2017, 2018, 3,053 Albertans were admitted to to a hospital.
Albertans.
That one, yeah, Albertans versus Canadians. Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Very good. 7,333 5-year average annual influenza pneumonia deaths, 2015, 2019. Cool. So that's just their kind of consistent number for that. In total, in 2020, there were 22,409 patients put into ICU care. So I don't even, like, he doesn't even, like, make a prescription on this. He just states this as if it means anything. So he's leading you into, like, make your own prescription there. In total, in 2020, there were 22,409 patients put into ICU care. That is down significantly from the 24,010 number of people in 2019. Okay, that's not really that significant. So what percentile difference is that? That'd be a percentile difference. Let's fuck the math, and that's always fun. I forget it. We just use the calculator to do it right.
Correct, because it's easy.
Cool.
22,409.
22,409, 24, and 10.
24,010. 22,409. 24,010.
Okay, so that's a decrease in of 6.89%.
Mm-hmm.
It's something, but that's actually, in the grand scheme of things, almost nothing. That's not significantly.
Right.
Significantly? What?
Yeah, I guess like like I think at that point you're kind of like, I feel like at that point if we're gonna like attack him on that point, it would be like significant. It's like, do you know what significant is? It's like, I don't know. He might be like 6% is significant because it's like maybe it is to him, but like
yeah, like maybe it is to you. I guess.
I think that's just
It's
a
a
difference of
number.
perspective.
Yeah, it's
right?
a number,
Like,
but we're playing theatrics now. You know?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here. We're using words that make things, you know, like he's all angry at people for like fear stoking, but then we're using words like significantly, talking about a 6% difference. Health officials and politicians have repeatedly said skyrocketing ICU admissions have threatened to overwhelm the provincial healthcare system, a key argument used to justify harsh COVID-19 lockdowns since the pandemic first hit in March 2020. Yeah, of course they have. So once again, I've stated this before in the document, we only have enough beds at any given time generally for 1% of our population or less. That's not even ICU beds. That's just all beds. That's all hospital beds at any given point in time. Less than 1% of our population. That takes nothing to overwhelm that. Absolutely nothing. Like 0%. Like it's fucking... Yeah, of course. This is because our hospital systems aren't designed to deal with pandemics. They're designed to deal with like average problems and stuff, right? And we can just look to Italy for why we don't want it to go bad. Cool.
True. I mean, well, we can already see it happening in Ontario, like right now.
Yeah, it's starting to get bad again. Italy or India is getting fucked right now, dude.
Yeah, they're setting up like literally like field hospitals.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
The point that I don't understand, like the point like of the argument that like he just made, talking about like the difference in like ICU. It's like, okay, what's the point? It's like
he's trying to make the point that like
that
COVID-19 is detracting from people getting their regular care. So like surgeries postponed and stuff, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that we're literally at a 6% difference than a really bad flu season.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, do we need to be above that for it to be an issue?
Well, maybe that's the point he's making, that it doesn't seem like really bad. But then, if that's the case, then that just means that our response has been generally good. That's fine.
Yeah, like that's what I don't understand. Like that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, okay, so it's like because we went into lockdown and because we haven't let COVID run rampant, we still have a 6% difference instead of being maybe 6% over.
Yeah, it all depends on how he's attacking it, I guess, eh? If he's trying to make the point that COVID isn't as bad because like we have like less people in the ICU, then that's easy.
Yeah.
That's so easy to attack. Just be like, cool, looks like our responses work good. Looks like less people are in the ICU. Isn't that good that less people are in the ICU? Are you saying that it should be more? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I don't understand that point. Like, it seems...
yeah, I guess I'd have to figure out what he wants from that. What is he trying to say? It's a problem, though. Like, he puts his prescription everywhere else, but then he'll, like, just randomly not put it there. It's weird.
I think he doesn't put it there because it's hard for him to dispute, like actual math and science. So it's like, if you scroll back up, right? He's like, oh, here's all the statistics of, like, a really bad flu season, 5-year like annual of like influenza and pneumonia deaths.
He's doing the Jordan Peterson meme where he walks you to his conclusion without ever outright saying it, so that if you claim if you make the conclusion for him, then he'll like deny it. So that's not what I'm saying.
It's exactly what Mark did when he started attacking stakeholder capitalism, and then I called him out on it. He's like, I'm not saying that's bad. He's like, I'm saying that like it could be good. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like
walk it back,
it's like
baby.
if you want to walk your statement back, that I'm cool with that. Just as long as we can both admit the fact that you're now walking your statement back.
True. Something that we need to do better of in the future. Mind you, we were being really good faith with Mark, so I don't actually mind that too much if we don't point it out.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to point it out too much with Mark. Like maybe like here and there, like kind of thing, just because I do think if you like point it out, maybe it is like a point of bad faith, being like, oh well, now look who's like, you know, retracing their steps and like walking their statements back because they can't support their argument. Like I think that's just like
pretty funny.
I relate to that very heavily as like straw manning.
You think that's true? No, I think that's just pointing out like people being inconsistent and people being like spineless to some degree. If they're willing to make like really bold statements and then when you call them out on it, then they walk it back, you know. But maybe that's good too, though. If they're willing to walk it back to some degree, it is better that they walk it back rather than just continue denying. Because holy fuck,
I think maybe the difference is like if they start walking their statements back, I think it's good to like to maybe be like, oh, like why are you like walking your statement back kind of thing, not in a way that's like attacking, but in a way that like makes it sound like so like they have to explain it to their audience as to why they're doing it.
That's true. Maybe preemptively asking them to walk it back would be the most effective way rather than bringing it up after they've walked it back. Like when you're loading your statement, be like, there's no way that you could actually believe this because this and this, so like you should probably walk that statement back kind of thing or whatever, right? That'd probably be a good way to do it. Okay. Now I went up a bit. Didn't I? Or fuck, where am I?
No, you've gone too far.
Okay.
Go up.
Okay. Health officials, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So this point, cool. Like I said, Italy. Despite COVID-19, Alberta ICU admissions dropped in 2020. Okay, so that's just as data. Cool. Justice Center's medical doctors mortality study, flying blind.
Literally just feel like he's just like literally regurgitating stuff that he reads.
He is very much.
Kind of annoying.
Mortality study. Is this talking about? Oh my god.
Go back up. Go.
Fuck me. Links me a study. And this is the front page. Go fuck myself. Good. Science. Charter violations are real. Yeah. Fuck. I don't even. This isn't even a study. I don't care. I think I read this before. I forget what it concludes. Fuck. Maybe I should just. I'll save that for later. Maybe. Fuck, you know what? I'll skim it. I'll skim it real quick right now, just to get an idea. See if I remember this. Getting governments at all levels is not properly adequate considered as of nature, lockdowns, blah, 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 charter infringements. Okay, I don't give a fuck about infringements. I want somebody to talk to me about infringements so bad. They all avoid it.
Go talk to Damian Warren.
Please do. Wait, fuck. Yeah, harms. Cool. These things are possible. We should avoid these things. We can avoid these things and also lockdown at the same time.
Correct.
The data that is available indicates that.
You know my favorite point, if you scroll up a bit?
Yeah.
It talks about drug overdose, right? Like deaths from drug overdose. My favorite thing ever is like when stuff like this. So like before COVID happened, you know, people always are talk about like, oh, safe injection sites are bad. People doing drugs are bad. We should like criminalize people doing drugs. And then it's like, oh, COVID, a very convenient narrative to be like, hey, those people suffering from drug abuse are killing themselves from overdose because of COVID. We should really stop the lockdowns because it's affecting them. It's like, you wanted to lock these people up anyways. What?
True. Yeah. So the really rhetorically effective thing here, if they bring up deaths from opioid overdoses and stuff, then you bring up, hey, So what's your opinions on safe injection sites? What's your opinions on
Mm.
legalization of drugs? Now you'd have to have a pretty good extensive argument and a really like well-versed understanding of like why drugs should be either legalized or decriminalized based on your opinion. So you don't want to go
Mm.
into that one flying blind for sure, but the easy one to argue is is specifically just the safe injection sites. You just ask them, what's your opinion on that? And then when they say, oh, well, I don't think so. I don't think it works. But then you can go through the data and stuff and be like, yeah, actually, seems like safe injection sites actually like do have a positive effect. So why don't you give a fuck about having a positive effect on drug overdose when it comes to safe injection sites, but you use it to push your narrative here with COVID-19? Why do you care about it when it deals with COVID-19, but then you don't care about actually helping these people in the real world? Really good meme.
Very good.
Now, if they're
Very
smart, then
fucking
they'll just say they like safe injection sites, and then you got to take the
That's
L on
not-
that one. And then it's really boring.
Yeah. I bet it's really boring.
But usually these people are fucking brainlets, so.
Them safe injection sites are bad.
I don't even think that this has anything useful. I'm sure we've been over this. I don't even care. I don't care.
Very
I just
good.
don't.
Calculator soup.
Yeah. I should get rid of this thing here too. There we go. Okay.
So
So-
is point 4 is COVID school epidemiological research?
Yeah.
Epidemic.
Okay. Where children have a better chance of being struck by lightning. Florida's Governor DeSantis, okay, Republican boy,
Not a scientist. Yeah.
was also having nothing of the public health tyranny of the day, and he called Florida health and the fraudulent PCR testing methodology months ago, and is still calling them out today regarding the new variants and the CDC's advice to shut down schools once again. We have done it the right way. We are not going to turn back. What the CDC put out at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, I wonder why they would do it then. Okay, and now we're getting into the conspiracy shit. Why would they do it then? Dude, who gives a fuck? Now you're just like, yeah, this is baseless conjecture. Was quite frankly a disgrace. It would require closing 90% of schools in the United States. We have been open. They will remain open. Cool. So if someone just ignoring science, that doesn't prove anything. Public Health of England extensive epidemiological school study. 1.6 million school-aged kids went back to school in June. Only 70 contracted COVID, and that 0 cases involved any medical attention or hospitalization whatsoever. The percentage of school staff or instructors who contracted COVID was no greater than the broad population. Schools contributed to well less than 1% of all positive cases. Okay.
Albuquerque.
New Mexico USA school study. New American Academy of Pediatrics study adds to the evidence that in-person learning may not be a big threat to public health. 805 total COVID-19 cases, and only 32 of those people, 4%, got it at school. Plus, there were 0 cases where a child gave the virus to an adult. I believe I'm pretty sure that this is a case where they figured that children were like not really, but I don't remember. Was that in my document?
I think so.
I vaguely remember something about spreading. What would it be? Lockdowns, rights and freedoms, vaccine. Okay, let's go into lockdowns. Maybe it was in here.
Lockdowns, New Zealand. Increased vaccination.
Maybe not.
Why is COVID-19 serious? Maybe.
I don't think so.
Long COVID, blah, blah, blah.
Vaccine.
No, I don't think.
I remember
don't think
reading.
actually.
I remember I had a part in here where I was talking about how most of the spread was in youth or in
Social
younger people.
distancing?
No, I think there's only one part in that, but it might be. I'll have to check.
No, I'm right here. It just says higher social distancing associated with 29% reduction of COVID incidence and 35% reduction in COVID mortality.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck. I'll find it. I know I have it in here. Currently traveling. Maybe it was in deaths. It was probably in deaths.
Age groups.
Okay, here we go. Study finds that adults aged 20 to 49 are the only age group that has a COVID-19 R number consistently above 1. So that doesn't have anything to do with children. Okay. So this might be true. I feel like I remembered reading something that schools and restaurants specifically were both like disproportionately like what's the word? Causing spread somewhere, but fuck, I don't remember where that would have been. Testing effectiveness. Yeah, I don't know. I must have read that and probably I didn't include it. I will have to look up specifically.
I know it's not mine, so.
Yeah. Spread of COVID-19 schools.
Oh, who is the Great Life?
What's that?
Oh, it was the little life tab at the top. I mean, you open up a new tab. And then see it's like My Canada Life at.
Oh, that's like a little link to my stuff for work essentially.
That's who my benefits are through too.
Yeah. Big peepee. They seem to do a lot of trade stuff.
Good. True.
Maybe that's something we could just look up later, I guess. I don't know if I really care to like go over that too much right now. We could, but going through studies and trying to figure out if these things are true or not, you know?
I think I'm also down to do it tomorrow as well, just because I'm getting kind of hungry.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, gee. I think we're pretty close to it. 4 out of like, what was it, 5 or 6? I forget how many points there were.
4 to 5, I think.
4 to 5, yeah. So we're pretty close to like finishing this off. So I'm sure we could, just do another one tomorrow to just like complete essentially.
Just to complete it, and then we post to the journal forum.
True.
And we'll see how fast it takes to get taken down.
True. Yeah, they probably will because they have their political rule, right?
Yeah, that nobody fucking listens to.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to come on and debate us definitely can, though. If other people want to complain, then they can just come on and debate us, too. Fuck them. Take on the world.
Take on the motherfucking world, baby.
Baby. There were 805 total. Oh my god, I can't see the name. Is it again? Oh, I think it's the rhino. Wait, is it homeless rhino? I forget. I can't. I changed my background so that I could read it, and I still fucking can't.
Okay, but if it's on Twitch, do you have the dashboard
13Army in this bitch.
13Army in this bitch. What's up, Rhino?
Hell yeah, it's the rhino. OP. Very good.
Okay,
yeah, it's because I use Restream.
Yeah, but okay, so click on your picture in the top right.
Here? Oh no, I'm looking at my chat through Restream, which shows me everything: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. So it's a separate program. That's why I can't read it, because it's like the font color on it is like terrible.
That sounds AIDS. I'm gonna be honest with you here.
It is super AIDS. I'll have to look it up later, because apparently it just big sad. That's
fuck the YouTube plebs.
Fuck the YouTube plebs.
You're that YouTube chat, get fucked.
The YouTube plebs.
Got him. The 0 people in my YouTube chat be like, okay, so
YouTube, why you bully me?
Why you bully me?
It's only
low
game.
quality.
Why you have to be mad.
Low quality asymmetrical garbage.
Asymmetrical garbage.
Okay, so plus there were 0 cases where a child gave the virus to an adult. I don't know if that's true. That seems pretty bold of a claim, but it's possible. Oh, maybe within the case of the study or whatever.
Yeah.
There is evidence of limited transmission of COVID-19 within schools. This seems like pretty accurate based on what I was even told publicly, which peaked in early October and then declined. A total of 55 outbreaks were declared during September 1st and November 30th, 2020. Most attributable to a student source case consistent with a large scale of school attendees being students A. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't even know how much I care about this point. If they don't, if maybe we shouldn't be closing schools, and sure, I think the argument to close schools is more about that, like how the schools work though and the structure, and that like if you have like you have like a small classroom, like compiled with like 30 students or whatever, and then like you have like any COVID cases, then like, in
there's
order to
the
like
potential.
follow the guidelines and stuff, your entire class
Yeah.
gets like fucked essentially. So you might just be able
Yeah.
to like save money and stuff by just doing these things like online to begin with, maybe.
Well, I also know it's like even like literally like when I was in school, some of our classes like were like not big by any means,
Mhm.
but we had like some of our classes had like 30, 40 people in them.
Yeah, exactly. That is kind of large for like one teacher, you know?
Yeah,
I would say that's on the larger
right.
side.
And that's before you try and space people out 6 feet apart,
True, true, true.
right? Like it's just like not doable.
Yeah, it's not super great. So
And
I
you're
think
not
that
gonna be
has
able
something to do
to-
with it, right? But
Yeah.
transmission within the school setting was apparently low. The overall infection rate measurable among students in the 4 publicly funded school boards was approximately 1 case in every 1,000 students. Furthermore, most outbreaks were contained in a single secondary case. With exposure within the school setting, 85% of cases in school acquired their infection elsewhere. I know we're having school problems right now too. I'd have to look into that more though. Like the local, like recent stuff in Alberta, there's a lot of schools that have
Okay.
been like sending to like online stuff. But this is new variants and stuff, so the variants
Right.
might actually just be different. Maybe the variants are actually way worse for schools.
I haven't looked into it at all.
Experts demand scientific debate on COVID with Premier Ford.
Fucking
Wait, why
Doug
would-
Ford.
Why would you debate with Premier Ford?
Yeah,
Maybe on policy, I guess. I don't know.
maybe.
The list of doctors is as follows. Are these the people that want to debate him, maybe?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Big list of people. Experts demand...
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Every time you see it, gotta do it.
Every time I see it, I gotta be like Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Experts demand scientific debate on COVID with Premier Ford again. Ontario school study. Albuquerque. UK public school study.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. I don't know. Like, I don't even know if I care much about this point. If maybe we should be closing schools, then sure. Like, lockdown harms injustices against the people. Okay, are we getting into it now? Is this the fucking shit? Is this-
But I gotta go.
Oh yeah, you're going. Right. Okay, so we'll leave this part for tomorrow, I guess.
And then hold on, how much is this?
Oh god,
Okay,
there's
so
6.
6.
Fuck. Oh no, there's 7.
Oh, 7.
Oh my god.
Is there an 8?
Please, God, have mercy. Okay, it looks like there's 7.
Okay.
I'm sure we could blaze through. We blazed through quite a few today already.
We
so-
literally. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up my Discord stream because
Yep.
I'm going to just literally show you here.
Sure. I will open it up 1 second.
So
Bonk.
we had like
Wait, I gotta
this.
full screen this shit. We had which?
We had this. Oh wait.
Bob.
We
I
had
like how you've
this.
written. Bob.
We had this done yesterday.
Yeah.
Today we got. Oh, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Today we got this.
Oh yeah, we blazed through it. Yeah.
Right.
Most of these
Like we had
points,
to.
the hardest part is just reading his studies and then and like figuring out what the study's prescription is, and then like
Yeah.
noticing that like what he's saying is not at all what the study is saying. Essentially, like he's like
Yeah,
cherry
it's
picking
just-
things and then trying
Yeah,
to use that to
cherry picking
form
and
his
then just like
conclusions.
misinformation to
Yeah.
support his narrative, right? Like
So the
it's
hardest part is just
super
sitting there and
cringe.
reading like fucking like 6 studies or whatever that he sends at you and trying to understand the entire thing, but it's fine. It's so funny when they bring up their studies and then you're like, do you understand that your study just supports my opinion? So good.
Literally.
The best meme. Yeah, so I
Alright.
will have to update the document with some more of these studies to watch out for and then their prescriptions at some point
Mhm.
in time.
Sure.
I have them open in my 10 billion tabs that Rhino loves to see. Lamau.
That shit is like I'm like, oh boy.
Good stuff. Oh, did I just close my Discord? I don't think I did. Did I?
I don't think so.
Okay,
You're
thank God.
still talking. I can still hear you. So.
I feel like I closed something.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's gonna be it for me tonight. I hope everyone has a fantastic evening. Huge shout out to Skella and Tech for stopping by the stream. Always appreciative. Huge shout out to Novus for joining me.
Hell yeah. Shout out to you
So-
too, Mr. 13Army. Amazing.
Thank you.
And to Rhino
Make
for
sure you guys.
watching.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Rhino, the OG MP.
The OG. The OG YouTube pleb destroyer.
Correct.
OP. I think I'm probably going to play a little
so-
bit of Isaac. and then I'll
Okay,
and then
sounds
I'll
good.
end.
So everyone, make sure you check out the Twitch bio. You'll find all of my social media links there. Give them all a follow. Shoot them up. Also, make your way over to Novus's stream.
One of us.
It is the official Novus, right?
Yeah, it's the official Novus. Yeah, on Twitch.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Twitch. So make sure you head over to the official Novus at twitch.tv or go to twitch.tv/the official Novus, and you'll be able to find his channel out there. And make sure you check out all his stuff. This weekend, we have some things in the works for going to be editing videos, and then posting them to the YouTube.
Yeah,
So
I'll get
keep-
the Mark debate up, like the
Mhm.
not the in-person one because we couldn't find it so far, but I'll get the other one up,
Yeah.
and then so there'll be 2 videos coming for sure. The Mark debate, so be sure to check the YouTube because that's where it'll be, and then the what's the word? The debate analysis, I guess, that we did like afterwards,
Yep.
which I'll do as a separate video. Yeah, so make sure you guys check those out for sure. It's pretty cool. We talk about some Canadian stuff. Specifically, it's I guess like the way Mark phrased it was like geopolitics, but it's essentially just like a fucking scramble of like different topics. We talked about like indigenous
It's
stuff,
so
and like we talked about like Beyond Meat, and we essentially like dove into like a lot of like the conspiracy theories that like Mark believes in, and then like just tried to like work our way through the fucking maze of it. Yeah, it'll be
Which I
titled.
think we did a good job. I think we did a really good job doing that. Because,
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm super happy
even-
with that. But you know
even
what?
though he kind of like
Maybe we did trash, and maybe you should watch our video and tell us that we're trash.
true.
me.
Let us know. Comment on it.
Because I haven't
Give us
really
those
gotten much feedback.
dislikes.
Really, I tried looking at like Mark's video to see the feedback on Twitter because he posted it there, and I saw like no useful feedback at all. Like not there was like 2 people who
Right.
commented, and I'm like I don't know. You know, like all I know is my own perspective essentially from this. So I'd like some other people's
Right.
perspectives. Would be sweet.
Yeah, no, same. The same. Also, on my YouTube channel, I'm going to be posting both of those once it's fully edited as well, just so it'll be good content to post. And then also, maybe if there's time and whatnot, going over and posting maybe some of the Magic Arena stuff as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Right.
Magic Arena OP.
Correct. So tomorrow we'll do some more of this stuff. Maybe we'll either do a bit of gaming in the beginning, or maybe something of the sorts.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the political stuff, or maybe we'll do the political stuff. We'll hash it out really quickly, and then we'll do some gaming stuff. Just because we need to.
Yeah,
get
we'll
some
focus on
more
the
black
political
iron.
stuff first, I think, and then from there, I think we can go. Fuck, 1 second. I just gotta turn this fucking volume down. There we go.
Yeah, then we'll probably go into like some sort of gaming stuff or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because then we can just get that shit out of the way, you know.
True. So that's gonna be it for me. I hope everyone has a fantastic evening. I'm gonna go eat some pizza because it's waiting for me. And
Pizza.
I hope to catch you all tomorrow. Peace.
Pizzarini. Bethany the foot.
Beneath the foot.
Nothing
No
like
one
walking around on big old
Big
cow
foot.
foot.
Cow's foot. Bethany the foot.
No, Bethany the foot. Need to get that song from Kyle still. It's so good.
Literally.
Speed up.
Isaac OP. I heckin' love this game.
Dude, everyone heckin' loves this game.
True. I should probably get into what's it called? Arena again too. I do plan on it. It's just a
Do it up.
yeah. And I have more money now. That's the main thing. Cause
Fucking wish.
true. Cause I was like debating it for a while. I do really enjoy playing Arena, but mostly when I play like a deck that I really enjoy, I guess, and those tend to usually be meta decks to some degree. And then you need to spend like a couple $100s to fucking like get into the meta, which is really unfortunate. And even then you like
Correct.
barely get a deck that's like legal, like missing a couple
Sure.
rares or mythics still.
And
It's
then
very
you have to
unfortunate.
fucking do that like every like 3 to 6 months.
True, unless you play consistently enough to
standard is trash.
If you play consistently enough to get what's it called?
Do you have the wild cards and whatnot? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to get booster packs and stuff. OP. Poop poop poop.
All right. I am going to go eat my pizza. I will
Sweet.
talk to you later.
Yeah, sounds good, my dude.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. OP. I'll play Isaac for just, I don't know, like half an hour or something like that. 20 minutes. Just a little bit of jamming to end the stream. Because why not? This little buddy's very weak. Actually, oh yeah, the shops are open now. On floor 1. OP, OP. Yeah, so we'll continue this topic tomorrow. And hopefully get it all done. Same time frame again, like 6 o'clock till 8 or whatever. And then it'll just be a matter of waiting and seeing if Bob Lyon's actually gonna come on and debate us or not. That'll be fun. I hope so. Like the one most annoying thing about about our conversation with Mark, I think we initially like approached Mark at a anti-lockdown rally, and we're talking about COVID stuff, and then when we went on his show, we just didn't talk about COVID stuff at all, which is unfortunate because we spent quite a lot of time like learning stuff, so we could be rhetorically effective, and then it just was useless. Okie dokie. Oh fuck. Walked right into that one. Big brain. Yeah. These are very weak items. Big sad. Nice. Probably turn the music back on now. OP. See, I think it'll blow up everything I want it to. Hopefully. Yeah. Small rock. OP. No way. What the fuck? Hey, the TNT. Where's the secret room? I vote down. Moving these TNTs since the update.
Is this a mega stream?
Is this a mega stream? Hell yeah. Why would it not be? Look at me. Look at me go. Doesn't this look like the greatest America? No, we were talking about like COVID deniers I guess. Anti-lockdown people in Canada specifically. Thems be who the dumb fucks are. Bonk. But we finished that segment. I was doing it with the 13Army specifically. We're kind of like covering it, so.
So you think we should lock down forever with a virus that has a 99% chance of recovery?
I don't think that we should like lock down forever. Clearly, like the lockdowns are only useful if they're intermittent, right? Like, what's the point of a lockdown if it doesn't, if you don't achieve, how would I word it? What's the point of a lockdown if you can't end the lockdown eventually, right? But of course, the way you end a lockdown is to end the, what's the word? Is to end the downsides to the virus by generally removing the virus, right? So this would be via vaccinations, right? I'm guessing you're from the US if you're talking about MAGA. I'm from Canada, so, but I know that the US has been doing a pretty decent job at vaccinations, and lockdowns will be lifted as they are, essentially, right? COVID-19 has a, what was it, 99% chance of recovery. So that's a, what's the word? The 99% chance of recovery is based on flawed math. If you take the 0.13% figure that Professor John Ioannis, or whatever his name is, and calculate based on like real world deaths, the math just doesn't pan out. You would require populations in places like New York of like 25 million people in New York City to be infected in order to have the death rates they do based on John's math. It's just incorrect. So saying the whole 99% recovery thing is just not right. Just not borne out in the data, baby. Why is there a chest in here? Oh, there is. Ooh, secret tunnel. True. Please don't hurt me. I did the big fuck up and took damage on the last floor, and it removed my ability for Angel Room. Big sad. Gotta beat the boss without taking damage. Oh, fuck these rooms. I'm the worst at going through these rooms. Oof. We made her. I'm alive! Oh my god, why does it give me such bad items? Yikes. So useless. Bonk.
You are right. If 1% of the world population died, it would have been 77 million deaths, and we are nowhere near that.
If 1% of the world population died. Well, no, yeah, when you compare, like, the numbers are not based on like the entire world's population. It's based on how many people are infected.
So
right?
It must be higher than 99% recovery rate.
Okay, yeah, you're just not understanding the math. So when we say 1% fatality rate is based on how many people get the infection and then how many people die from it. I don't think you would agree that 100% of the world has been infected with COVID, right? So of course 77 million people haven't died because, you know, does that make sense? You need everyone to become infected in that case, and that's just not the case. The infection rate is based on how many people have it. How many people get it, and then how many people will die of those that get it. It's a very, very simple equation. You can verify the equation by just doing the percentile math anywhere that's had infections. So you just take the amount of infections that were in a location. So if you look up wherever you're from, look up the name of the place you're from, look up COVID deaths, and then how many people were infected. All you do is you take the number of deaths divided by the number of people who were infected, and then times that number by 100, and that gives you the fatality rate. Fuck, I took damage. God fucking damn. Never seen these guys lob so goddamn fucking far. Fuck you. Big sad. Bonk. Ah. Oh. That could have been useful. And it wasn't. Coins, yeah. 1 + 1. Oh fuck. Boner. Goddamn, I'm terrible at dodging. You're not going to bed already, are you? Isn't it like... Oh, it's 6? So you're going to bed at... Isn't it like only 8? Really? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, you wake up really early, that's right. That's fair. That's fine. I'll G. Oh, what the fuck is this guy doing? Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck, how am I supposed to dodge that shit? What the fuck? Stop. Oh, Jesus. Please die, please die, please die. Oh, Jesus, please die. Da, 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 da. What the fuck? Angel room. Big peep. Okay, please be OP item. OP item? OP item. Busted as fuck. Okay, but I don't have money for it. Oh, shit. Oh, that sucks. I don't have money. Money. Okay, kill the angel. Get the item. Can I do that? My items are so trash right now. Oh my god. And of course it spawns the hard angel. Fuck me. Oh, I'm so gonna die. Oh, I locked the door too. I'm so fucked. Come on, go through the fire. Go through the fire, you fuck. Well, now. Oh, fuck. Bonk. Yeah, run to the fire, dumb fuck. Hell yeah. We golden. Okay, how much money do I have now? 7 coins. I need more money. It's bad I don't have the D6 so I can re-roll shit. Ah, so sad. Oh well. 3 bombs. Yeah, I could probably make some good money in here. Okay, let's see. Bomb here. Yeah. Bomb here. Oh yeah, all coins are doubled. That's right. Oh, genius. Insane. Oh, don't take my coins, Bumbo, you fuck. Go away. Goddamn Bumbo. Ugh. Oh, I think that double thing doesn't work all the time now. With the new update, it doesn't seem like it does. Oh, 21 coins will be fine. Should be able to buy whatever angelic item there appears there. That's hopefully OP. The new Jacob's Ladder is busted as fuck. No, my coins. Le meow. Okay. On to the next one. Yeah, when I'm done. Yeah. Algae. Yeah. Okay, I got everything I need from this floor. On to the next one. And Angel Room. Oh fuck, unknown. Okay, oh it's just a health. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. Oh, that's such a shitty item. Yeah, I don't care about that item. We'll just get it. HP up here. Maybe get the other half of the key to up our chances of getting a Angel Room. Another Wheel of Fortune, eh? Holy. Okay. HP up. And then we will crack the dice on this guy here. I guess maybe I should grab this first just in case I don't take damage. It should drop the weaker angel. Oh yeah, I don't have fucking bombs. That's right. Could do a Wheel of Fortune. It could give me a bomb. It's possible. I guess we'll try it. Ah, of course it gives me that one. Okay, let's see this Wheel of Fortune. How about this one? Okay, there we go. Oh, nice. First try. Hilarious. Okay, bomb angel. And yeah, it's an angel. Beam. Open fire. The shitty thing about this room is that it's like so small. Well, it's not small exactly, it's just that there's like so much shit in this room and I don't want to like buy things unnecessarily. Oh god. Okay, that's not too bad. I only spent 1 coin that I didn't mean to spend. Not too bad. And then I can blow up both of these machines and hopefully make some more money. Ah, fuck, no money. Okay, take this. Sunshine. Take this. Health down. Oh, big sad. HP down. Okay. And that's it for that floor then. Or that room. I'll probably just finish this floor, I think, and then I'll probably end the stream. So I gotta go eat some food. Hungry as fuck. Oh fuck. These rooms always so painful. Nice. And HP up reversed. Oh, but I don't have the protection anymore. Oof. Okay, can't take damage. No damage, no damage. We upped our percent of the angel room by like, what, 3% or something like that? It's pretty good. Kill this fucker, kill that fucker. And kill that. Bonk. Jesus Christ. Oh, yep. Get fucked at me. And there it goes. 7.3% chance. That is very low. Ah, fucking Bumbo. Every time, dude. What an annoying character. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh no. Oh. That's so annoying. God damn it, Bumbo. Fuck. Stop. He needs to die. Find the item room. Hopefully it's not trash. Gotta save all my money now for the angel rooms at the start of each floor. It's probably gonna be some busted ass item, I'm sure, in one of them. Hopefully. Jesus Christ. Good item. I'm crying on the inside. Maybe there's some money in here? Yeah, okay, fuck my life. Oh! It's fine. Worthy sacrifice. Not like I already took damage. So who cares? Don't know what my health is at, but we risk it. Ooh. Much better. I guess I could use this too, though. Oh, there's not a boss fight room now. Oh, big sad. Okay. Well, we might as well. Just to make a little poopy loader. Let me bomb this. And it's lame. I guess I might as well use that. Ooh, shovel. Very useless. Wonder if it gives us... Oh, yeah, there's no way to reach it anyways. Big sad. Okay, what do we have for health? Maybe we can enter the boss fight room now. No way. We can't. Okay. Oh. Must be high enough, I guess. Oops. Wrong room. Yeah, Guppy's head is really, really good. With the book that I have, I don't remember the name of this book. That's Book of Revelations or Book of what is it? No, I can't even tell. It's really good though. It's the item that Bethany starts with. Really good because instead of getting the like one little what are they called? One little orbital per activation, you
77.
Get 77. What do you mean by 77? Oh Jesus, there goes all my orbitals. Rip. Rip all my angel room dreams. That's fine. We got an angel room guaranteed each floor. Not too bad. Okay, let's go to the next floor. Ah, amazing. So we've got sword, which is probably the obvious take.
7W 77W 777W 7777 Ws.
Amazing. Can't argue with that.
Smiley face.
Amazing. Let's see. Get a health up from this guy. Is that worth? I don't think it's worth like 7 coins. Probably save that for the item on the next floor. Dupe. And charge. Bonk. Fuck, this sword is so OP. Oh my god. Insane. Insane. Ooh, but do I take the white heart? Probably. I'm a dumb fuck. I need protection for my red hearts because I'm really bad at dodging. Lame item. Okay. We continue. Okay, I lied. I'll finish this floor and then I will end stream. For real this time. Bonk. Fuck, does that go over obstacles? Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. I was like, what the fuck? Insane. The sword is OP because it blocks shit to some degree. Just gnarly. Just gnarly. Fuck these guys. Yep, there's the damage. And okay, the white heart protected me, so we're good. For now. For now. Probably not gonna last. Unfortunately, this sword is really close range, so it fucks my ability to be useful even more. Because I'm already bad at dodging. Big rip. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Okay. So a little cooldown. And the tongue fucked me up. Okay. So close to like the boss room right there. Goddamn. Goddamn. Fuck, shouldn't have taken that one. Oh well. And hopefully this is a greed fight in here so that I can make some more money. Fuck. It's not. Big sad. Okay. Couple more bombs. Okay, I'll finish the floor first, and I'll come back here to make the moolah. If I cannot elsewhere. Did I leave a bomb in there? No. Taking all my coins. I wonder if I can open... Can I open damage chests with the sword? That would be insane. No way. Insane. Okay, the sword's even more nutty. Fuck. How much to make money off? One room left here, really? Probably. Oh, I guess there's probably money in here. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Guess we'll see. Bonk. Bonk. Fuck, almost walked right into that one like a dumb fuck. What? How did that hit me? Cool. Okay. Move on. Necropolis 1. Okay, yeah, I'll have to. You know what? I might as well go back now and just get the money. It's not like I'm gonna get anything in the boss. There's like one item that drops you money from bosses. And I highly doubt that I'm gonna get it. And we can up our chances for the angel room by blowing up this boy. Fucking Bumbo. Get out of here, Bumbo. There we go, 22. Maybe I should get a little more just in case. Just in case there's multiple items that that I want to buy. Fuck, I need like one more coin. I can always... fuck it, yeah. Let's do it. Cool. Okay. We roll. And I can use some of my spirit hearts to refill my flies. There we go. Something like one spirit. It's insane. Insane. Nutty as fuck. Probably a secret room here. No way. I've been got. Okay, use the death card. Yeah, use the death card. Holy fuck. Fuck. Yeah, and fucking laser beam ass mother bitch. Fuck. So close. Goddamn. No way it spawned anyways. 2% chance. Insane. Okay, dupe. And the Bible. Super lame. But I might as well use it, I guess. To get the orbital. And I believe it gives you a chance to like get flying later too, so that's pretty good. And yeah, done with that room, I guess. Check out this room. Good there. Some HP. HP. Cool. And that's that. Okay, well, that does it for my stream today. Ooh. Thanks for popping in, anyone that did. Once again, we'll be streaming again tomorrow, covering more of the COVID-19 misinformation stuff with the 13Army again. We should be wrapping up everything to do with that, and then yeah, hopefully get some kind of conversation or debate or whatever the fuck going with Mr. Bob would be sweet, or somebody. Maybe the antagonism on the general form will attract other people to try and defend things, so that'll be fun. So hopefully get something from that for you guys to watch would be sweet. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be uploading the debate between me and the 13Army and Mark probably sometime this weekend, I'm sure. So just make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube to check that out. And yeah, let me know what you think, and once that's out or whatever. And yeah, cool. Thanks once again, and have a good night, everybody.